So today I'm going to show you how I'm taking the original light sockets, just regular bulb sockets that I originally wired the building with, and converting those over to these very high powered LEDs. So I'm just working off of a round box here. So this method would really work for anybody coming from a traditional light socket that's already switched and wanting to go to a higher powered hardwired shop light. You can kind of see what the finished product looks like there. So I'll show you how I did it. So these lights just come with the wires hanging out and an access plug, and you get some wire nuts with them and these hangers. You get some chains too, which I'm not going to use, but that's what you get. So then I bought these other things for the install. I went with just a plain metal kind of faceplate, block-off plate, and some flexible conduit, 1/2 inch, and like there's nothing inside here. You can buy it where it has wires in it, but I bought the one that's empty. And then these snap tight fittings come in a 2-pack, and you can see they're insulated and made for having wires go through there without any rubbing or anything. And then I bought some hooks separately to hang the lights from, and then I'm using some 12 gauge just ground wire that I'm stripping out of some extra Romex, and I'll use that to extend the ground wire. So once you remove the cover plate and you kind of get the wires out of the light there, you can see they give you quite a bit of length to work with. The purple and gray are actually for a dimmer switch, which we're not going to be using. So those will get tucked back in. And unfortunately, they gave you this nice connector here, but the connector doesn't fit through my flexible conduit over there. So I'll be cutting this off and throwing the connector away, and then I'll have to extend my ground wire to match the length of these other two here. Okay, so the dimmer wires are tucked away, got my ground extended, and I've got my pigtail cut off here. The next thing I'm going to do is install my fitting into this cover, which will fit right in there. It'll snap right in. And then I've got this piece of flexible conduit that I cut to length, and that just cuts really easy with a hacksaw. So I'll put that together. So now you've got a light with a nice pigtail hanging out of it. The next step is to modify this cover here. As it turns out, a 7/8 hole saw is the perfect size hole to put into that thing in order to snap one of these into it. So I've got another plate over here that I've already drilled. So I'm going to snap this in and attach it to here. So now I've got my fixture all set up, got my ends stripped and cut to length, and I'm ready to walk this thing up the ladder and install it. So I've got my light hanging off of these hooks that I put in, and now it's just a matter of connecting these wires together. So I've got those wire nutted together. You can see there's still plenty of room to work here, you know. So I've got enough room to work, but I also don't have so much leftover wire that it'll be hard to fit it in the box. So I just got to tuck it up in there now. So then here's the finished product. It's pretty simple. So hopefully you found this video somewhat informative. There are a lot of different ways to do this. This is just the way that I chose. If you wanted to keep the connector, for example, you could extend the wires in such a way where you retain the connector. Anyway, this is the shop lit up with these lights, and I'm actually going to do a different video where I talk about some of the options I tried before I landed on these lights. So if you're interested in exploring kind of some of the different ways you can light a building up like this, then check that video out. And thanks for watching.